you can't get lost. But
That's a fact.
and I tell this to people. That's why when you go overseas, you get to understand how another person lives. When you go to Montreal, when you went to Canada, you see like how we're similar and how we're different.
Right, yeah, it's a fact.
But a lot of times, many people, all they know is their world. They don't realize that some of us, we are similar and we're alike, and yet still we're different.
Yeah.
And Dope Man, I know you said you've been in the DJ battles and competitions. Have you been out of state to do those, or mostly just in New York?
New York City.
Right.
New York City, pretty much, and stuff like that. Only like it wasn't like a battle like I went to like I performed at DJ Expos.
Okay.
You know, where they have like all the other DJs. You know, just to see what I'm doing. I'm glad I got noticed by other DJs like Cash Money.
Oh, from Philadelphia.
Cash Money from Philadelphia.
That's a legend right there.
Dope.
Cash Money and Marvelous.
You know,
Facts.
Rest in peace to Bismarck, because Bismarck was out there.
And where was this at?
In Atlantic City.
Oh, okay. The DJ community that we have every year in AC.
Yeah, he saw me. He was out there. He saw me. He was like, okay. He was like, all right, I see what you're doing, boy. I see what you're doing. You know, the Biz
Rest in
boys.
peace.
Yeah, you know, Biz, I love him, man. You know, everybody, you know, when he passed away, everybody was just so heartbroken because he was like a real gem soul. Right.
And they actually named the street after him, after his hometown out in Patchogue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, out in Long Island. You take the train, you out there, take the Long Island Railroad. They did the MF Doom too out in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And named the streets
Legends
after.
out there, man. That's a
But
fact.
also too, Cut Supreme, I want to add on to this. Coming from LA, I know you told me earlier off the scenes that you're from Canarsie, originally born and raised.
Yeah.
And then when you went out, and then you moved out to Long Island. When you coming up, you said hip hop wasn't, or you didn't know anybody else really into hip hop the way you were out there.
Well, what was going on out in Long Island when I went there, because we're talking the 80s. So I came from, I was in the 70s, I was in Brooklyn. In 1980, I moved to Long Island. And there was nothing happening in Long Island except long hair, rock and roller dudes who, they didn't understand, especially in school. I was in like, third, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. Those kids, they would beat and chase you for listening to hip hop. They didn't understand it. I had to fight motherfuckers every day. I had to curse.
Yeah.
I can now. You know what I'm saying?
Do it, let go.
Motherfucker. I had to let it all out.
Let that aggression.
Yeah, word. But back then, man, they would beat and chase you for listening to hip hop. So like, I would fight everybody. Right before first period, before school even started, I was already scrapping out. You know what I'm saying? Already in the detention, school detention, in school suspension every day. And I actually met other MCs who had the same problem as me, because they were going through the same thing I was. In fact, my man who's in my group right now, we go all the way back to 7th, 8th grade. I met him, he was sitting at a cleanup table. That was the table where all the kids that got in trouble would sit. But we would sit there because there was no one else to sit, because all the kids would start shit with us. So I was sitting there, he was sitting there, but we didn't know each other. So he's sitting there writing something. So I walked up and said, yo, you writing rhymes? He was ready to fight. He said, what? I was like, yeah, man.
That's crazy.
I was like, me too. So I sat right next to him. That's how we became friends. We stayed friends for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
40 years.
That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
And what town is this that you was out in Long Island?
That was in school, but that was...
No, but the town.
Ronkonkoma, all that whole
But
area.
I know, like, Brentwood is next to there, isn't it? Or not far?
Yeah.
But I know, Brentwood
5 miles from there.
because I know Brentwood has had, like, the EPND and Craig Mack.
Yeah, but they didn't come out to 87, 88.
Oh, okay.
All right? Because, like, I met Craig Mack in 88 when he was MC Easy.
MC Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to my man DJ Diamond,
Yup.
who was the DJ.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
And Caleb Boss is always the other DJ.
Caleb Boss.
And then you also had from Central Islip, you had Keith Murray, K Solo.
Right.
And then in Wyandanch.
You also had the JVC Force.
Right. And then in Wyandanch, you had the God Rakim and Too Poetic from the Gravediggers.
And Rakim didn't come out to 86. We're talking 1980, 81, 82.
Oh, this is
83.
No, but so what I'm trying to say is that, but I'm sure, like, in their town, there must have been some type of hip hop scene or something.
It was starting to come out to Long Island. What happened was, like I said, I came from Brooklyn, so I was already hip hop when I came to Long Island. But Long Island wasn't hip hop yet. It was just people were just starting to migrate to Long Island. Hip hop was just starting to get there. Then once it started happening, it blew up, especially when Young TV Raps came out and all that, 88, 89. That's when you started seeing it more and more. But before that, it was just people in their own neighborhoods. Like I had my crew, we started a pirate radio station, and we would transmit over the rock stations just to put the hip hop on, because we would play Schoolie D, no more fucking rock and roll, and cut that shit up. That's what it was, man. We were fighting with those motherfuckers, so that's what we would do. I ran pirate radio from the age of 13 all the way till 94.
Right.
And then I went on the mixtape circuit. I had a solo album out. I had a group album out.
So when you say the mixtape, so you had a mixtape like a DJ Clue, Doo-Wop, and those
Yeah,
guys?
before Clue, I mean, they were real mixtapes. Before it was just before the screaming over the records, we were actually mixing and cutting up the hip hop joints, mixtapes.
Right.
Yeah, we was talking in the beginning, yo, cut Supreme on the wheels of steel, boom, you just cut it up. And then at the end, you do a freestyle or whatever, you do a blend. And then when Clue started coming out, he fucked up the whole mixtape game because it was just he was just stealing DAT tapes and throwing his name over it and like taking tapes. Like I knew someone else that was doing that too. They'd be in the studio when the shit was being recorded and they would dub it for themselves and put it on their mixtape. I got an exclusive, and the whole thing wasn't even mixed, wasn't cut up. They would just yell exclusive over everything. To me, that's not a mixtape. To me, that's you stealing shit and putting it on you. And then eventually, when they saw it was starting to blow up, people started giving them shit as exclusive. But in the beginning, they were just stealing shit. They weren't really doing it. You know what I'm saying? So us real DJs were just like pissed off.
Interesting history.
But now, so Jahan, I know you're from in Connecticut. I know Connecticut had I know the name of the group, don't tell me. They had those the Skinny Boys.
Yeah, the Skinny Boys.
The Skinny Boys, they were from Connecticut.
With the human chop box.
Yep, the human chop box. One of them is actually related to Flavor Flav.
Okay.
There's a cousin of Flavor Flav, like a first cousin. One of them.
Yeah, one
But
of them.
I know, like they were one of the first groups that had like quote unquote mainstream success. I know from Connecticut.
Yep. Steezo.
And Steezo. He was dancing
Rest
for
in
EPMD.
peace.
His birthday was the other day.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Steezo.
Rest in peace, Steezo. Yeah. In Connecticut, you know what I mean? Particularly even Stanford, where I'm from, you know, in the 90s, a lot of the nation, all of them, they used to come out there and do parties at Chester Addison. Shout out to Chester Addison. You know, I was just a baby, but Bambaataa, all of them, you know what I mean? They used to come out there and do parties. You know, there's a lot of elder, you know, Zulu Nation or whatever is new now, you know, however they, you know, discuss it now, you know, they were out in Stanford. A lot of people don't know. I mean, the Bronx, listen, the Bronx is 35 minutes from Stanford.
Wow.
When I was a kid in high school, we was going to get the mixtapes, DJ Doo-Wop, 95 Live, you know, we was getting, you know, Clues, we were getting the, you know, DJ Juice, all these
Juice
mixtapes
from Trenton, New Jersey, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Trenton. We were going back and forth on the train to Fordham all the time. Dr. J's, we was there.
Jimmy Jazz.
Camp Low, we knew them. I met Camp Low when I was like 15 years old. I was signed on a record label when I was 14. So there's a heavy relation between my part of Connecticut, at least, and I'm from Mount Vernon as well. So those areas were always close to me. So the Bronx and the original creation of hip hop and a lot of these people, you know, Sedgwick Ave, all these areas were very, very close to where, you know, I'm from. And we spent time there all the time. So, you know, Connecticut has a great history, Skinny Boys, Steezo, but there's a lot of people, even a lot of certain people in history that having to do with the gold chain era, and a lot of people that lived in Stanford that represented and were there. And you know, we had the guy Rakim. There's a bunch of people that was in Stanford for many years that I learned from that. You know, I directly.
Right. That's what it is. And so, like I try to tell people is that hip hop, and like you said, and it's just weird how this small art form, how it's spread across the world.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're able now to go to Europe. You went to Montreal. You get to see a different land, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Also, how long did it take for you to make this project by the skies?
Well, basically, it took, you know, to break it down, because there's 3 different separate albums. I would say it took me a year and a half to do.
Just this part one? Or
Yeah, no, not part one, but to do the entire amount of. I have 3 albums worth of, you know, of a project. So this one project, yeah, it probably took me about 5 months, just this one. And I took my time doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew I was going to release 3 albums. So it basically was my organization of, do I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that. I was very meticulous in the process. Not everyone is like that for me. The second one probably took me about 2 months.
Okay.
So
because like I said, some artists will say, "Oh, I did this in like 5 minutes," or whatever it might be, the time frame.
Yeah,
and I often say, and certain artists you can tell. It took them 5 minutes. You can tell. But it's like I tell people that a masterpiece takes work.
That's a
And it
fact.
takes time. You're gonna do something.
It takes its time.
And like and anything you're gonna, if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
You don't want people to have cause to talk.
Yeah.
And say, oh, you know, you could do better or this and that. And I like your T-shirt, Cut Supreme.
That's right.
Incredible
Yeah.
break beats, boom back.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
And don't
fine.
get it
1200.
twisted. Yeah, no, that's a dope joint for sure. And don't get it twisted. I could have took 4 weeks and did a project, but you know, it's all about challenging yourself and evolving. If you're a DJ, if you're an MC, if you're a radio host,
Exactly.
you want to be able to change what you did last time. You don't want to duplicate everything you did. So if you're evolving, it takes a second to step things up, no matter what it is you're doing.
You never thought about getting into like the battle circuit?
I was in the battle circuit. You know, I came up in, you know, okay, so I went to college in North Carolina.
Oh yeah,
So
you went to. I can say this. You went to Duke University. You
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to
Well, I was on the radio. I worked at Duke University. Shout out to the DJs. I worked at Duke University. I was a DJ at Duke University radio station. And I was 19, from 19 to 24. And I worked with Knife Wonder. I came up on I was there when the listening was made. Everybody talks about the listening. It was a classic. I was there when the listening was made. In the
That's a
dorm
classic
room.
record.
Yeah, at NC Central. So we all were together. Every day I was running
And
with little brother.
another
With Justice League. period.
And the thing is that a lot of people sleep that these people, again, this goes back into opening up your mind and traveling.
Facts.
A lot of people feel whenever they hear quote unquote Southern hip hop, they feel like everybody in the South rap them. Like, no, they got some dudes down there who can actually rhyme.
Yeah.
Who, if you
They changed the game. They
like
brought the game back.
certain dudes, you'll be like, if you didn't know, if they didn't say where they were from, you would have feel you was into a guy on the block in Brooklyn or a guy in Connecticut.
NC particularly.
Right,
Is
because
all Essence hip hop.
right,
NCs,
because
for the most part.
for the guys that I met
NC.
from after the brother met Superstition,
Yep.
Kazi, there's a few cats, even Rhapsody.
Yeah.
All
That's
these
what you
people,
say.
and these people who actually can rhyme.
Talking about Dreamville
but
right now.
however,
J. Cole.
but then when you have a conversation with them, then you hear the country accent come out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but nah, but
Yeah.
but my point is, but again too, I tell this to people. Even in the United States, we come from different regions. Cats is gonna sound different. They're gonna talk different.
Yeah.
Even though it might be regionalized, but you take it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
and you
no
try
doubt.
and you enjoy the experience.
Great music's everywhere. Hip hop is universal. You look at Europe right now, you got the people out in Europe doing the Essence Golden Era music
Hell
that
yeah.
you would never see before. They're doing it better than us here.
in the United States.
Now. They
Yes.
done took it to a new level.
Shout out to my man, the
Respect them.
Vigilante, man. We just did a record together out there, man. He be sending me
Nice.
stuff, man. I'm definitely going out to Europe real soon, man.
Yeah, man.
We're going soon.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
And with all that being said right now, I want to get into some more of the By the Skies album. This
Appreciate
be
it.
Against the Grain show every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is now 8:51 p.m. We got to change we got military time clock, got to move it up to 20:51. They still say 19:51. But anyway, case in point, we're up in here, we're having a good time, chopping it up with Jahan Nostra, Cut
Peace,
Supreme,
peace.
DJ Dope Man. Be Against the Grain show every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Let's go.
Yeah. It's dedicated to all those that got a craft they love. You know what I'm saying? And they do whatever.
Yeah, yo, I'm showing.
Yeah.
No, I'm just watching. I'm listening. As long as I'm watching, I get to see.
Yeah.
Instead of
It's dedicated to all. Yeah. 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 It's dedicated to all those that got a craft they love. You know what I'm saying? And they do whatever for it.
What you witnessing is dedication to a. What you witnessing is dedication. What you witnessing is dedication to a. What you witnessing is dedication to a craft that allowed me to rise. What you witnessing is dedication to a craft that allowed me to rise like levitation.
One of my favorite guests of all time. He came to my show many times. But the very first time, he was cutting out his own curses. He was the best. He was up there doing his thing, man. One of my favorite.
I'm improving the culture. Understand what I'm doing is moving the culture in the right direction. No boy band. And it's good
Hell
for
yeah.
you, like a no soy brand. And like that toy brand, this is what I has, bro. Got dudes still tripping off the last flow. And
like
when the
that.
cash
Oh,
flow,
boy, brand Hasbro toy. Let's see what he
I
said.
shine bright enough to keep plants alive. That's why the song is dedicated to everything we love and we celebrate it.
And if it wasn't for the mic, I'm dedicated. And if I couldn't leave it right, I'm dedicated. One more show, one more night, I'm dedicated. Without my craft, I don't think I would have made it.
It's fire.
Good looking, man. Thanks.
Check. Look.
I'm dedicated. You can check my pastor Mac, counting cheese, master
Time out.
In fact, nobody's smiling. I bet he like to laugh. Found out the trash. Black bags can handle that. Spitting with like
Long Island represents.
And he's been to my show, but it was so long ago. It's got a lot better. I've been talking a long time ago.
Kings dream of the quest we on. I'm always fighting. I'm LeBron during the virus. Challenge is private. I'm Jordan, who's the nicest. Always
Don't forget, I've been there 20 years. I got everyone up there. I got some people grow.
And if it wasn't for the
People
mic,
come
I'm
and go.
dedicated. And if I couldn't leave it right, I'm dedicated.
A lot of people gone though, man. Killer Sean. Yeah, man. Like, you're one of my favorite guests. My very first guest on my show was Granddaddy IU. He was my first guest.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, man. It's sad.
Yeah. One with the instruments locked in my room. All I had was sentiments locked in tune. Escape from the mayhem, find beats and play them. The spirit is one. Hip hop, say amen. Sharpshooter like Mellow, please don't sub me. My fan played the bench, I wrote stay hungry. Outrageous, contagious vibes, I'm A-list. Being alone made Nostra courageous. Thought I was cornball, but really was Warhol. I was so far gone, me and my road dogs. They say that the devil was living in the fog, but I found refuge in my music catalog.
This craft my path.
Rex.
Rex on you?
Rhythm and I'm synonymous with the vision of the ghost quotes I wrote. Dedication hopes to improve
No, I said sharpshooter like Mellow. Please don't sub me. You get it? Alright, so Mellow, sharpshooter, we know that. Please don't sub me. So you remember Mellow, he wasn't getting no run.
Right.
And he was like basically going to team. So I said, please don't sub me. But then it's a double because as a rapper, please don't sub me. And don't try to send a subliminal diss.
Oh, okay.
So it's a double entendre.
Oh, sharpshooter. So if you're saying I'm a sharpshooter lyrically,
Yeah.
don't stop them.
Exactly, but also because I use Mellow, you could think about it as
Right.
sharpshooter like Mellow, please don't sub me.
With every phrase.
And don't
Yeah, exactly. Hey, my man, go ahead. That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Open up the skies with every phrase. Trying to scale back. Open up the skies with every phrase. Open up the skies with Open up the sky. Open up the sky. Open up the sky. Open up the sky. Open up the skies with every phrase. Open up the skies with every phrase. Trying to scale back. Open up the
DJ Cut Supreme getting busy.
Trying to scale back on your ways. Another day, another masquerade.
Yo, why they folks so true boy?
Open up the sky, yo, rays. Open up the skies and feel the rain.
All it is, right?
Open up the skies and feel the rain. Open up the skies and feel the rain. Open up the skies and feel the rains. Mask off and now we turn the page. Creativity gets me paid. Cause the skies are violent. The skies are violent. I'm walking a pandemic with Dr. Fauci. A turn for the worse inside of Violent Audi. The one single corner is starting to scream. Scientists small biz test COVID-19. An ATM crash, a stylish mask. A woman named Storm projecting my forecast. And you inside trying to take my money.
I know you guys get that. They were trying to get the back stream and then he passed.
Yeah. It was due out in March. For sure.
And they were always good dudes. I remember when I first met them, I heard stories about them. I heard stories. One of them was made. No, he's cool as fuck.
Countdown the days, I'm the Sphinx.
When I
The
heard
Matrix and the
stories about
money
them,
and the
and they were
movie.
doing that arrogant. So I heard. This is
Nice,
before I
good
met them. We'll talk about that later when we leave. We'll talk more about that.
Crow on the beat.
Open up the skies with every phrase. Trying to scale back my worldly ways. Another day, another masquerade.
We're gonna rock 2 more, right?
Open up the
Hell yeah.
skies and feel the
That's just
rain.
fire.
Yo, man.
Mask off and now we turn the
Definitely rock this on my show too.
Gets me paid.
know Buggy is out there.
Remember
Remember last time?
I'm watching that joint.
I'm rocking it. The palate of a pirate, I'm still hiding. Hybrid. 173 got the virus. Scared I hop in the nigga just got the school.
But I got